is enough said.
What up, Heat Nation? Yo, boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video, giving y'all a second video of the day. Please show support, like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Now that we got that out the way, let's go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Today's been pretty crazy, you guys. I know I've been giving you shorts for a while. Wasn't at home. Finally back here, and I want to talk about it, you guys, because this is surrounding the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. And the reason why I mentioned the Milwaukee Bucks is because earlier today, it was reported that the Milwaukee Bucks signed Miles Turner to a 4-year contract worth over $100 million. They also traded Pat Connaughton. They re-signed Gary Trent. They re-signed Kevin Porter Jr. They signed Tayshaun Prince. They're trying to keep Giannis happy and convince him to stay, especially with a depleted Eastern Conference next season, even though some teams have improved. But in order to make space for Miles Turner, the Milwaukee Bucks decided to release Damian Lillard, who had $113 million guaranteed on his contract for the next 2 years. So Milwaukee has waived Damian Lillard and has stretched that for 5 years, which means they'll be paying Damian Lillard $22.6 million every season for the next 5 years. And that $22.6 million comes out of the Milwaukee Bucks salary cap every season. So this is hampering them moving forward. I mean, I get it. When you look at the current roster with Dame having a torn Achilles, it was really difficult on selling Giannis staying here. So I get the move. Makes a lot of sense. But it's funny because now that Damian Lillard has been released, there's been a lot of speculation going on. First thing that happened was Chris Haynes reporting that Giannis Antetokounmpo was actually not happy with the Dame release. That didn't really make a lot of sense, because he can't play next season and you're trying to compete. Why would Giannis be upset? Maybe the way they did him. But from what I was hearing from Chris Haynes was this was actually something that Milwaukee approached Damian Lillard about. Now, Chris Haynes did report that he just didn't like how it was handled, the situation on how they waived Damian Lillard, but apparently Milwaukee approached Damian Lillard with this. Chris Haynes reported that Damian Lillard is elated with the Bucks' decision to waive him. And let's go back here with something, you guys. And I'll get to the topic shortly. But when Damian Lillard was traded to Milwaukee, he was going through a divorce. And remember, when he was first traded there, things weren't going so great. There was reports coming out that Dame wasn't happy in Milwaukee. You know, Dame played 11 seasons in Portland. He was trying to get a trade down here to Miami. It went on for 2.5 months. Miami was going after Dame, but nothing ever happened. But Dame wanted to come to Miami to have better weather, apparently, I guess. But you go to Milwaukee, I get it. You're not really happy there, especially when the team wasn't doing that good. But here's the thing that happened after that. Chris Haynes was on NBA TV, and they were asking Chris Haynes, well, where's Damian Lillard's next destination going to be? And he threw out a few names. He mentioned a reunion with Portland. But one thing he said was, and I quote, look out for the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat apparently have interest in bringing Damian Lillard to Miami. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. 2 years later, we are officially on Damian Lillard watch again, apparently. Interesting. Now, it was reported by different reporters. Barry Jackson says that the Miami Heat has not called Lillard. This was back in 12:25 p.m. But Miami is expected to pursue. Tim Reynolds also reported the Miami Heat, this is no surprise, are expected to have interest in Damian Lillard, who very surprisingly now holds a lot of cards he didn't expect to hold. Also expect to have interest, well, lots of teams up to Dame, and it's his timetable because there's no rush whatsoever. And I know I'm reading a lot, you guys, but there was a lot of reported on this. It was also reported by Aaron Fentress, who is Damian Lillard's agent, and this is specifically what he said. It's an incredible opportunity for Damian. He receives all of his money guaranteed, and it provides him an opportunity to decide his next destination as an unrestricted free agent. He gets a chance to rehab at home if he chooses to, and be with his family and his kids for the next year. The goal is for him to take his time and make a decision on what his next destination will be. Needless to say, Lillard is receiving heavy interest from teams around the league. End quote. Now, is that true? Is that not true? Whatever. But I will say this. Damian Lillard about to turn 35 years old. Damian Lillard, who's still showing that he's playing in an all-star level, even though he's not the same Dame that averaged almost 35 points a game a few seasons ago. He has shown in the Milwaukee Bucks that he is still that guy. This past season, he averaged 25.1 points a game, almost 7 assists, 4.7 rebounds, 44% from the field, almost 38% from the three-point line, 92% from the field. You know what you get with Damian Lillard. He's one of the best point guards in the NBA, still is till this day. One of the best three-point shooters. Now, here's the thing. This presents a very interesting situation. Because Damian Lillard is going to be getting paid $113 million from the Milwaukee Bucks for the next 5 years. So this is not a guy where you have to go all in and give the max salary to. Damian Lillard wanted to come to Miami. At one point, he said it was Miami or bust. The whole reason why that situation didn't work was for 2 reasons. One, on Portland's side, Joe Cronin did not want to negotiate with Miami. Because when Damian Lillard said Miami or bust, and when his agent was calling other teams that were calling Portland stating, if you trade for Dame, he will request to go somewhere else, that bit Portland in the ass to get a great deal. And then on Miami's side, Pat Riley just wasn't willing to throw all the cards on the table. The offer apparently was Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, 2 first-round draft picks, and it was basically take it or leave it. Wasn't willing to give up Jovic, Hawkes, anything else after that, and wasn't willing to give up Caleb Martin. It was Hero and Duncan. And because Portland had Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, and Scoot Henderson, I get it. They didn't feel like they needed Tyler Hero. So both sides messed up on that. And the moment that Damian Lillard said, I'm open to Brooklyn or Milwaukee, bam, dude goes to Milwaukee. Now, if you notice, 2 years later, Portland, that trade didn't really bode you well. But hey, it is what it is. Can't cry over spilled milk. Hakuna Matata can't go to the past. So here's what we're looking for the future. Can you bring in Damian Lillard? Absolutely. What would it take to bring in Damian Lillard? That's the question. Because you're not trading for Dame. You're convincing Dame to come to Miami on a lower level salary, knowing that he's making a lot of money with Milwaukee for the next few years, and you're selling him on being here to lead this youth movement team for the 2027 season. If you're able to pick up Damian Lillard and tell Bam and Tyler, because let's be real, you guys, the Heat haven't really done anything this offseason. Looks like they may be losing Duncan Robinson. They're not really making any moves after that unless you're going for a trade. Giannis watch is big, guys. The Giannis watch is big. And we're going to be waiting for that. That's what it seems like now, especially with Giannis not really happy with what Milwaukee is doing. But if you're able to convince Damian Lillard to come here, let's say, hypothetically, let's say it's a 2-year veteran minimum contract. You give Damian Lillard 2 years, $6 million. Remember, he's making $22 million per season with Milwaukee. Don't forget that. So you tell Damian Lillard, we're going to pay you the vet minimum so you can come here next year and rehab. And then for the 2027 season, you're going to bet on yourself and double down. And then we'll talk from there. Or, let's not forget, the Miami Heat also have their $14.1 million mid-level exception and a $5.7 million biannual exception. These are other contracts you're able to offer Damian Lillard. The Miami Heat have 14 roster spots on their team. 1 spot available with Duncan Robinson opting out of his player option. You give that to Damian Lillard. You tell this team, go for it 1 year. We have our 2026 pick. So even if we have a bad season, we keep our pick. And for 2027, you're going with Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Damian Lillard, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Kasparis Jonas. You're also going to have your 2026 pick, and you're going to have cap flexibility with Andrew Wiggins and Terry Rozier potentially being off this team. I like it. And if the Heat are not going to be making any moves this offseason or making any trades, I like it. And let's say if Giannis becomes available and you sign Damian Lillard on a lower level contract, Giannis has relationships with both Dame and Bam. Bam Adebayo and Giannis share the same agent, guys. So imagine a possibility of the Miami Heat getting Damian Lillard for the low and trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because now if Miami gets Dame and Giannis becomes available in the open market, he has a relationship with Dame. He has a relationship with Bam. Maybe the Godfather holding out was just the right way to get this done. So Heat Nation, let me hear from you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. How crazy has day 2 from free agency been? You think the Heat can do it? Can the Heat talk Damian Lillard to come in here? Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we continue our push for 7,000 subscribers. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.